The biggest lie women tell men, and you believe it. A lot of women say, I didn't really like him. All he was doing was talking about himself all the time. Now, what most men actually do is they don't talk about themselves nearly enough. They fall into an interview question type of mode on the date because they run out of things to say. And then they place the burden of the conversation on her. Women say that because they go on dates with good-looking, self-obsessed F-boys, so to speak, who actually do brag, and all they do talk about is themselves. But that is not representative. It also goes to show that you can't really trust women for dating advice, but you can't trust men for dating advice either. Your best friends. How many people do you actually know that are in truly fulfilling relationships with a woman they're attracted to and who they're compatible with regarding their personalities and their values? Women don't fully know what they react to. We as men don't either, by the way. We kind of just wander through life. We work, we focus on our business, our career, and we go to the gym, and that's about it. The rest is done more or less on autopilot. Now, if you want to be effective on dates and you want to create emotional spikes and create attraction and connection, you have to learn to overshare. You have to get out of this asking questions type of mode. You have to assume the burden of the conversation right up until the point where she starts investing in you. Once she starts sharing and telling stories herself, obviously you don't want to cut her off. Obviously you don't want to make it about you unnecessarily. Then you want to let her talk and you want to create relevance, but you have to start first. And what I would encourage you to do is to actually write down 20 stories from your own life. Can be adventures, can be business stories, it can be your goal. It can be hobbies, it can be family stories. The most important thing when it comes to storytelling, in the beginning, it has to be fun and lighthearted. The first couple of dates just have to be fun and lighthearted. Another mistake that I see a lot of my clients make, because they are men of substance, men who are doing well in their career, the business achievers, loving, kind, good people, they tend to go into deep and meaningful conversations very quickly. I like that too. I never understood the value of small talk for the longest time in my life until I understood, well, the value of small talk is you offer somebody a little bit, then you see whether you can trust them or not, then you give them a little bit more and you give them a little bit more. So it is actually super useful. And the utility in small talk, in having fun, being playful and serious and not so deep and meaningful, is the emotions that it generates within her. Because remember, she's not on the date for a logical exchange of information. She's there because she wants to feel alive, and the way she feels alive and the way she learns things about you and how you present herself, how you present yourself, is the way you tell stories. You really have to assume the responsibility for becoming a really good communicator. Jordan Peterson says that one of the most important things, one of the most important skills a man can ever develop is that of storytelling. If you don't make a decision to become an excellent communicator, all areas of your life will suffer. Now, you may be good in your career, your business. Maybe that can improve as well. But for sure, you lack in the area when it comes to dating and interacting with women, because otherwise you'd already be in a great relationship. You'd already be in a truly fulfilling relationship if you had mastered that communications piece. Imagine all the greatest, most impactful people in the world. What do you remember them for? Yeah, things they did, but also the stories they told. Martin Luther King. That was a pretty epic story. Stories shape the fate of nations. Stories is what make us feel alive. I can tell you the principles right now, but what will get you probably a lot more engaged is if I told you the stories of how I suffered with my ex-wife and how I was lying in bed, frozen with anxiety and panic because I had panic attacks the day after my wedding because I just entered into a relationship, supposedly for life, with somebody who truly wasn't right for me. She's not a bad person, but we're just not compatible. And how I suffered and how I never felt appreciated and how I'd go and sit next to her, and we're going to a holiday weekend to Spain, and all we do is sit in silence next to each other on the plane because we had an argument. These are things you can relate to. So the more you can go, and that's true, by the way, never tell a story that isn't true. That's the difference between me and some other people out there who are telling you to just make up something. Just learn a line. And if you learn a line, you'll get her. That's nonsense. The way you stand out with stories is by telling your stories. the stories she's never heard before. If you want to be unique, you have to allow yourself to ascribe value to your experiences as a man and add certainty to it. Just the fact that you say something with confidence, that is valuable to her. Now, that only works if you say something that's true. But what's the most important thing about a story? The person who tells it. So the reason the story is valuable is because it comes from you, is because you have done a lot of great things in your life that you're probably not giving yourself nearly enough credit for because you overthink, you get stuck in your head, you have a negative inner dialogue, you're very self-critical a lot of the times. And if you were to give yourself that credit, and if you were to become your own biggest fan, and you were to express yourself with certainty, and you were to ascribe value to the experiences you've had, you could then share them in a more exciting way, and she'd be truly attracted to you. But how is she supposed to perceive you as a man of value and substance if you don't perceive yourself as such? One of the most important things I help my clients with is to regain that sense of true confidence. Regain, or maybe for the first time in their life ever, feel a sense of unshakable confidence, regardless of how attractive she might be, personality-wise, values-wise, or looks-wise. You have, if you're a kind, loving, good person, and you're an achiever, you work hard, you have good habits, doesn't mean you need to be perfect. Nobody is. But you're a good person, you have things that are worth sharing with your children, at work, with women on a first, second, or seventh date. But you don't even allow yourself to communicate those stories in the most exciting fashion because you don't even see the value in your own spoken word. So in addition to the 20 stories that I would like you to write down, I would also like you to write down 20 reasons as to why it would be the greatest gift for a woman to be in a relationship with you potentially for life. For a woman who's compatible with you, not just anybody, but somebody who's truly compatible with you. Why would it be the greatest gift for her on earth to be your future wife? That's it, Alex. Seems a bit egotistical, doesn't it? Absolutely. Narcissistic, is it? You being loving, kind, caring, wanting to make sure her family members are taken care of. You supporting her, you loving her, you being good at bed, you providing financial stability, experiences, being funny, being whatever. There are so many things that provide real value to her that you're not even allowing yourself to register. It's very difficult for a woman to see your value as a man in the marketplace if you don't see it yourself. And it's very difficult to be truly attractive on a date if you don't tell stories in an effective fashion. And here's my invitation for you. Do these two little exercises. They seem little, but they're very powerful because they shift how you see yourself. And that is one of the first steps. And then go on to the date and start oversharing right up until the point when she starts sharing. And then you go into that and then you ask very calibrated questions. And then you create emotional relevance. The way you create emotional relevance is when you tell your story related back to you and her. I remember many years ago, I was on a date with somebody and the entire date, 40 minutes, first date, before we then went into a hotel together, was basically me going onto a rant of the different psychological human needs that we have. Because I was filming, it's probably 6, 7 years ago at this stage, a couple of hours beforehand, I was filming videos just like this for clients on the realm of personal development on that subject. And so that was totally top of mind for me, and it's something that I'm really passionate about. But when I was talking about the human needs, I was talking about variety, I related it intelligently to her and what I knew about her. So it's not just about going on a story rather than ignoring the person that's sitting opposite of you. You need to create relevance. If you want me to help you with that personally, apply for a free initial consultation. Looking forward to speaking with you soon. Take care.